It was supposed to be a powerful conversation about healing, resilience, and the challenges of fame. Meghan Markle appeared on the live broadcast with calm confidence, expecting a platform to share her recent advocacy efforts and personal journey. Seated across from her was the ever-iconic Whoopi Goldberg, known for her unfiltered opinions and seasoned experience in the entertainment industry. From the start, there was mutual respect, but an undercurrent of tension ran just beneath the surface. Meghan began by discussing her involvement in mental health initiatives and parenting in the public eye. Whoopi nodded along but waited patiently for her turn to ask questions. The audience was engrossed, sensing something deeper would unfold. As Meghan shifted toward her well-known struggles with the royal family and media scrutiny, the room's energy began to shift. She spoke passionately about being silenced, isolated, and misrepresented. But Whoopi, watching intently, interrupted with a simple but sharp question. How can you be silenced when you're on every screen, every magazine, every podcast? Asterisk, the comment landed hard. Meghan paused, clearly not expecting such a direct challenge. She responded that having a platform does not negate being silenced within powerful institutions. Whoopi leaned in. But you've had more airtime than most activists and authors combined. Do you think it's still about the truth, or just about your brand? The room stiffened. Meghan's expression tightened, but she remained composed. She said she speaks to inspire, not to sell. Whoopi raised an eyebrow. Yet every interview, there's a deal. K-book, a Netflix show. People wonder, is this therapy or marketing? Meghan's voice cracked slightly as she defended her motives, saying sharing her story helps others feel less alone. The crowd applauded softly, but Whoopi wasn't finished. That may be true, she said, but people hurting don't always get that spotlight. Why should yours be louder? Meghan took a breath, visibly rattled. The balance of power in the interview had shifted. Asterisk, what followed was a raw, emotional moment. Meghan acknowledged that she and Harry had made mistakes, but said their intentions were never to profit from pain. Whoopi, still calm but firm, replied, intention matters. But so does impact. She pointed out that some viewers felt exploited by the constant sharing of private stories, while many pressing global issues struggled for attention. Meghan, visibly moved, said she never meant to distract from other causes. I want to do good, she said, her voice softening. That's all I've ever wanted. Whoopi looked at her and replied, wanting to do good is great, but sometimes how you do it matters just as much. There was a long pause. The silence was louder than any applause. Meghan looked down, trying to compose herself. A single tear rolled down her cheek, and suddenly, the camera caught it. The internet would later erupt over that single tear, but in the moment, it was painfully human. Asterisk, the producers, sensing the intensity of the segment, offered to cut to a break, but Meghan shook her head gently, choosing to continue. She wiped her tear and looked at Whoopi. I've lived through a storm I never imagined, she said. I've been called things no one deserves, and I kept smiling. But I'm still human. The audience remained silent, hanging on to every word. Whoopi, seeing her vulnerability, softened her tone. I believe that, she said. But you need to understand that when you step into that spotlight over and over, people will look. They'll question. That's the cost. Meghan nodded slowly, almost in resignation. But do they have to question my pain? She asked. Do they have to mock it? Whoopi looked down for a moment before replying, no. But public life is a choice. The rules are cruel. I didn't make them, just learned how to live with them. Asterisk. As the conversation continued, Meghan opened up more about the toll of fame and judgment. She spoke about dark nights, therapy, and the pressure of being a symbol rather than a person. Whoopi, perhaps unexpectedly, began to share her own struggles from earlier in her career, the loneliness, the criticism, the doubts. For a moment, it felt like a truce. Two women from different worlds, meeting at the intersection of pain and resilience. Meghan visibly relaxed, as if finally being seen beyond the headlines. The live audience began to applaud, sensing the walls lowering. But just as the mood began to lift, Whoopi brought the conversation back with a final pointed question. What will you do when the cameras stop caring? Meghan hesitated. "Keep doing the work," she said. "Even if no one's watching." Whoopi nodded. "Good, because that's when we find out who's real." After the segment ended, the producers rushed in, and Meghan left the stage quickly, visibly shaken but composed. The episode went viral within hours. Social media split into factions, some applauding Whoopi for asking hard questions, others accusing her of ambushing Meghan during a moment of vulnerability. Media outlets around the globe replayed the interview, dissecting every word, every pause, every facial expression. Hashtags like #TeamMeghan and #RespectWhoopi trended simultaneously. Analysts debated whether Whoopi had been too harsh or whether Meghan needed to face more accountability. But beyond the noise, viewers remembered the tear, the quiet moment, when a powerful woman let her armor slip. That image was shared across platforms as a symbol of emotional honesty, even amid confrontation. In the following days, Meghan's team released a statement thanking The View for the invitation and noting that Meghan appreciated difficult conversations that lead to growth. Whoopi did not issue a statement but addressed the moment subtly during a later broadcast. "Tough conversations are never comfortable," she said. "But sometimes comfort isn't the goal. Truth is." That quote was picked up by talk shows, blogs, and podcasts everywhere. Meanwhile, Meghan remained largely silent, choosing not to follow up with any additional media appearances. Her silence was interpreted by some as strength, by others as strategic. But what was certain was that the moment had made an impact. It changed the tone of the conversation around her. She wasn't just a duchess or a celebrity. She was a woman who cried on live TV. Everyone had watched. The interview also sparked larger conversations about mental health in the spotlight, the ethics of celebrity journalism, and the role of talk shows in shaping public perception. Some activists applauded Meghan for continuing the interview despite being visibly emotional. Others questioned whether she had been adequately briefed for the tone Whoopi would take. Online debates raged. Was this empowerment or exploitation? Was Whoopi tough or just mean? Was Meghan's tear authentic or performative? The fact that such questions even arose showed how complicated public storytelling had become.
Authenticity
Was no longer judged by words alone. It was judged by tone, timing, and tears. And in Meghan's case, the whole world was watching every nuance. Long after the headlines faded. The impact of the exchange remained. Young women, especially women of color, cited the segment as a moment of truth, raw, difficult, and necessary. Journalists pointed to it as a rare instance where celebrity was held to account without cruelty. And media critics praised The View for not sanitizing the moment. But some warned that moments like this also reveal society's hunger for breakdowns, especially from women in power. Meghan became, once again, a mirror for viewers to project their beliefs and biases. Whether you saw her as brave or broken, exploited or strategic, her tear had become a symbol. A small, silent protest against a world that demands perfection, then punishes emotion. In that single drop, years of pain were distilled, and millions felt it with her.